Hello, Con Channel viewers. Today is a very special day. So I decided before I review the next Star Wars movie to go on the website IMDb and look for a horror movie for Halloween. But I did not look for a good horror movie. I looked for a bad one. Because I can. That's when I found the movie Axum. Now, before each review, I go and I watch these movies before I review them, so I get an honest opinion on each of them. So I was very confused when I saw this film for the very first time. It's that bad. The camera quality is the worst I've ever seen in a movie in my whole life. There are no microphones in this movie, and you have no idea what is going on half the time. But I was quite intrigued to write a review. So happy Halloween, chumps, and let's dive into this outstanding film. The beginning of the movie opens with text explaining the plot of the film. If you notice, all of the letters in the beginning of each line are capitalized, and the alignment is really strange. Let's just read this text together, shall we? On a cold winter night in 1990, Mr. Mason, a mean and cruel townsman, left his job for home. After arriving home, he took a shotgun and killed his wife and kids. Then his mean man killed himself. Legend has it, he'll return in 13 years to revenge his family deaths. So the movie starts in a building, I guess. The characters are clearly talking, but you can't hear them because there are 0 microphones connected to a camera in this movie. I wish I was joking.
Okay, alright, what if she says no?
You may think that these characters are the extras, but no. These are the main characters. Also, the quality in this film is god awful. Half of the time, you don't even know what you're looking at, and it's very confusing. The camera has this weird blurry vision to it that I feel like should be something from the 1920s or something. So then we cut to a man stomping into a house in the dark. Then an old man comes down the stairs and is complaining about the noises he hears. So he goes to get his gun. Now, first off, why is he getting his gun? If he hears noises, then surely he just doesn't go and get a gun. He would go outside and look at what these noises are. But whatever. He goes to get his gun, but the killer who entered the house is right behind him. I find it really hilarious that the killer is literally right behind him in this shot, but the very next shot, he lets the man find his gun and mess around before he kills him. And the best part about this is how the old man is being murdered. His reaction is just too good. Oh, shit. Sounds like he's watching a suspenseful movie, not like he's being killed. We then cut to some unnecessary scenes that have nothing to do with the plot, so whatever. Also, I would love to point out that every transition between scenes in this movie is this really weird fade to black transition. Why is it like this? The transitions make this movie feel like a TV show, not an actual movie. Anyway, the characters talk about how they're going to stay with one of the Anyway, the characters talk about how they're going to stay with one of the characters' grandparents. I don't really know. That's just what I got from it. This movie is trash. Anyway, we get some interesting scenes like 15 minutes later when the movie cuts to our heroes talking about horror stories. And they cut to a flashback where the story takes place. Now, I would understand this scene, but the problem is there is no dialogue whatsoever. Now, I usually complain about good dialogue and bad dialogue in movies, but I can't complain about dialogue when there's no dialogue, baby! Yeah! This movie's smart. You don't know what is happening in this scene at all. This movie gives us no context into what is happening, and it ticks me off. They forgot to cut the director saying cut. I am so done. Anyway, later in the movie, we finally get some acting. It's not very good acting, but they are trying.
We're out of gas! I told you before we left to get some damn gas. But no, you had to... Look, I should have done...
So this white guy and his friend run out of gas in the middle of the road, and they go to find help. So they go to a random house in the middle of nowhere. The best part about this is that when they enter the house, you have no clue at what you are looking at. This quality is so bad. It would be really funny if it wasn't so painfully sad. Anyway, after that scene, the movie decides to get to the climax. So one of the characters runs inside the house, saying a man attacked him. And after he says this, the body of the white guy who got killed in the house falls through the door somehow. So what do our heroes react to this? They run out the same door the body just came through. What is wrong with this movie? They see the killer outside and they all run back in the house and then into the woods. And I'm not kidding when I say they stay in the forest for the next 20 minutes of the film. That's longer than the dinner scenes. What's even funnier is that they all run in separate directions, but they still end up meeting in the forest somehow. This movie is truly the most baffling thing I've seen in a long time. Ugh. Anyway, after the next 20 minutes of nothing in the woods, our characters finally decide to stand up against our killer. So what do? They kick him or something. It's really hard to tell. The quality is trash. Don't ask me what's going on. Ask the director or something. And finally, after that, the movie ends after an hour and 10 minutes of sad, sad pain. What an emotional roller coaster that was. This is probably the dumbest film I've ever seen. And I'm being very generous calling it a film. Because this is practically a bad YouTube video. There is no characters. You can't hear the characters. You can't see the scenes. And you don't know the plot unless you rewatch it several times. This movie is incredibly awful. And the best part is, it's not even the worst movie I've ever seen. I've seen worse. Because of all this, I'm going to give Axum a marvelous 1 out of 10. Anyway, I'm done. I'm gonna go watch a good movie. See y'all next time. Or never.